Let's see. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching. Uh, Gary Meeks is on. He's helping to tell me if we're on. Yeah, Gary Meek. Sorry. Oh, I keep doing that. Okay, so I hope that we're on again. Let's see. It's kind of hard to tell, and it was right in the depth of your story, man.
Well, it was probably boring anyway, so maybe it's watching
Right.
family photos if you're not in the family,
Okay, we're back. Cool. Thank you, Gary. Okay, thanks, John, and thanks everybody. So I was asking John about his youth growing up, and he was telling me a very cute story. Do you remember where you left off?
Um,
You were,
Started playing in bands, my mom's junior high school bands and stuff when I was a kid. I think 6 or 7,
yeah.
and started playing oboe. And they made me take piano lessons like at 8, and I hated it. I was just like not into practicing, and
Really?
I was playing in football, and just it wasn't the right time for me. Um, in the meantime, there were always instruments around. I was trying to play guitar. I was a terrible guitarist, and I had like a garage band when I was 12 or 13,
With guitar,
and
on guitar?
I was playing guitar. Yeah,
Yeah.
trying to play like Hendrix and Jimmy Page, and you know,
Yeah,
25 to
man.
25 to 6 to 4. Um, and the piano player quit, and I looked at the piano over there in the corner and went, I'm taking these lessons. Maybe I should try that. So I learned how to play Color My World, you know. And all of a sudden the girls started paying attention,
Ah, that did
sit
it.
on the bench next to me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I became a pianist. In the meantime, my dad was teaching bassoon, jazz improvisation, and he had something like the 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock lab band in Denton. And
Oh,
he was always bringing home jazz around. So he gave me, uh, I started getting sort of interested, I was listening to Bobby Timmons and Jimmy Smith, and he brought home Thad Jones, Mel Lewis, Central Park North for a birthday present for me. And I was just like boiled over, and I've been I've been obsessed with it, you know. The next year he brought me Maiden Voyage, which took me on a total another path.
yeah.
And in a way, Kathy, I feel like I'm doing the same thing I did in school or when I was younger. I practice, I learn the music for the concert, I go to rehearsal, and I start all over again. It's sort of the same thing as being in junior high or high school. Show up on time.
It's interesting. And oh, Adam Levine is here and he said your dad was the best music teacher he ever had.
Oh, that's nice. For me too. I mean, I owe everything to my dad.
And yeah, that's an incredible lineage. I mean, your grandfather was your grandfather's parents musical as well?
That I don't know. We don't know much about them.
Yeah. But wow, that's such a interesting heritage and line. I mean, everybody was super into it. And here you are too. And I understand that feeling. I mean, well, I think that's because you love what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was always fun. It still is.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
when you really think about it, even the worst gigs aren't all that bad compared to what it could be. Compared to what I could be doing or not be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of the worst gigs, what was your worst gig ever? Do you remember?
I think it was at the Sheraton Hotel with Mark Police and this lady named Cathy. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Did you do that gig with me? Oh my
no bass
God.
player. It was Fender Rhodes. I had to lug the Fender Rhodes,
Oh God.
up to the, through the elevators and all that stuff, and kick bass and Mark Police on drums, whose brother I played with recently in Minneapolis.
Oh my God. And remember Mark had like a bottle that he'd bring in?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
he
Because he
didn't
didn't
want
want to
to.
pay the bar prices.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
No,
funny.
you're asking about the worst gig?
Yeah.
Ah, maybe Jim Stafford, the guy that he was a country and western comedian that had this hit, I don't like spiders and snakes. I don't
Oh
like
yeah.
spiders and snakes. And actually, I really learned something from the gig that I learned that, no matter what gig you're on, you can still play the blues. And that's all I did. I kind of played like Floyd Clamor, but blues on those country gigs. And it wasn't the music that was the awful part. It was that he was just sort of hard to deal with in this kind of crazy way.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's funny. The mind kind of doesn't let you recollect a lot of the bad ones for some reason. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I know, that's kind of cool. I do remember certain, like I remember one, but I don't remember the feel of it particularly, but I remember I was the token American singer in a Russian band. And somehow this Russian band got a New Year's Eve gig, check it out, for 500 Jewish Latinos. And the only thing that they had in common was the Jewish music. And they were 500 Latinos
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve. And I wanted to be home in bed so much because we'd play something Latin
Yeah.
and somebody would come up and say, "Let's hear something Latin." I was just like, "Oh my God, I don't want to be here."
Wow.
That was really a terrible. That was like one of my worst gigs.
Yeah. Plus,
I,
New Year's Eve is always sort of
oh,
not the best
oh
time of
yeah.
week anyway.
But you were really active, here in those younger years. Let's see, those were the 80s, is that right?
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Super active. And you and Diane Reeves and Joey Heredia. And was it, who was on bass? Like you guys used to play it at the Comeback Inn and play a lot of
Billy Carroll.
Billy Carroll.
Billy Carroll would play bass.
I thought maybe Tony Dumas or,
Tony for sure.
yeah.
Ralph Penland.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a great club. That's sort of the club where I kind of learned how to play in a way. You know,
That was
you could
such a
play
cool
anything you
club.
want in that place,
Yeah.
and it was small enough to feel like you were playing for people.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a great experience. That club. I met Diane there, Larry Klein, Billy Childs.
Yeah.
You know, you, Joey. Yeah.
Monsieur Santos used to work there a lot.
In fact, that's where I met Mosir. I used to go to Mosir's house after that, and he would sort of give me a private lesson on his piano book.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was what a great, sweet, great, incredible musician he was.
Yeah. Did like Monsieur or who inspired you to write and to play in certain ways in that period of time?
Well, I was, before, I mean, I was playing piano in these bands way back then when I was a kid,
Yeah.
but I always thought of myself as an arranger and piano player first because I got really turned on to Thad Jones. Sorry,
Yeah.
an arranger and composer. I
Yeah.
got really turned on to Thad Jones and those Quincy Jones records like Walking in Space and Smackwater Jack. And I kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to write movies, I wanted to do sort of what those guys were doing, Herbie. So I was always writing music and arranging. Even as a young kid, I have these scores of me,
Oh.
looked like I was, drawing with a crayon or something. Nothing. Uh,
I was a little young.
so I was always writing, and at that time, Kathy, um, you know, there was fusion, and I'm talking about, like, experimenting with synthesizers was big, and you had Weather Report and Headhunters, all these great bands, that these guys that had total jazz roots were were expanding into other rhythms, and using electric music, and it was totally acceptable to listen to Stevie Wonder and Earth, Wind and Fire, and then listen to Dexter Gordon and Miles and
Yeah,
stuff. So it was totally wide open, and
yeah,
particularly here in LA.
yeah,
One night you could be playing electric, and one night you could be playing. I used to play with Joe Farrell at Snooki's,
yeah,
or you know. So you ended up becoming well-rounded, by default, because you'd be working on these gigs,
yeah,
and there was tons of places to play. This is before the DUI, which
yeah.
really killed a lot of the scene here.
That's so true. Yeah.
So you had the Parisian Room, Marla's Memory Lane,
Hmm.
the Total Experience, the Bluebird. You had Concerts by the Sea and the Lighthouse. You had Dante's, the Baked Potato, the Parisian Room. What's the place up in the Pasquale's?
That's
I mean,
qualities. And
there was
the place
no
in
lack
Long
of.
Beach, Al Williams. Uh,
Yeah. Al Williams down in Long Beach.
yeah.
So, man, we're bringing people. Any night of the week, you could hear Sarah Vaughan and Art Blakey. You know, I remember seeing George Benson at the Lighthouse pre this masquerade, where he actually was singing that song on the set. So, you know, and it was $7 to get in, which is probably, you know, I don't know, comparable. Maybe it's comparable now. I don't know. Didn't feel like it
No, it
at the
didn't.
time. Um, so yeah, there's all this influence, and it was just a great place to be. And then it helped me out, doing studio work, where you get a call and you didn't know what you were going to play when before you got there. But because I had all this experience locally here, it really helped me become a little well-rounded.
Yeah, right. Yeah, who was I talking to? Was it Bobby Shue or somebody? I forget who I was talking to. Maybe it was, let's see, Dave Tall. Maybe it was Dave Tall, I think. I don't know. I'm talking to so many cool people with great past experiences, but I think it was Dave Tall actually, because he had this real, like you, a very open experience and open listening and open playing, and he really he learned by listening to very varied people. So
Mm.
by the time he got to the studios, he could actually play everything, you know. Hi, Lorna.
Thank you.
Hi there. I don't want to disturb you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,
So,
margarita. Oh.
well, 12:30, you know, it's it's 4 o'clock somewhere. Um, yeah, but yeah, so I understand that. It's really cool. And it's a, you know, everybody has we were saying that, you know, some people are like one trick ponies and some people are not. Some people are. But no matter what you do, you're when you develop your own voice, it's both desired and fun for you, the artist, no matter what you're playing, because you've finally found the way to express yourself, right? And it doesn't matter if it's in the studio or live or Latin or whatever it is.
Yeah, you end up hopefully, being able to put your own voice into any situation, and I think in the long run, that's what people respond to. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
um, it takes courage, though. I tell younger musicians all the time that it takes so much courage to play this music, to be able to improvise and, not be afraid to sort of fall, but pick yourself up within 8 bars, Um, but you might get a lot of attention at first for playing like somebody or playing fast or leaning on certain tricks in a way. But ultimately, if you look at the people that have really succeeded in this business or uh, have influenced other people, and it's people that have sort of found their voice and stuck to it and developed it. I mean, sure, people accuse me of sounding like Herbie Hancock or all the time, but I guess as I get older, I'm really trying to be a little bit more conscious, you know,
Yeah.
and try
Isn't
and
that a
tap into
funny,
courage.
it's a funny word, isn't it? And it's a very common phrase, accuse.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you said that, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, they
I
accuse
probably
you.
read it, in tons of newspaper articles
Yeah.
concerning, you know, what's going on today.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting, it's actually a thread in our business, you know. People want you to sound like yourself, but they also want you to adapt to something that they want you to adapt to. I've known
Well,
so many
sure.
situations like that, you know.
Yeah, sometimes you go on a date, a session, and it's you're getting hired to do a certain thing, and you have to
Yeah.
be able to do that too. Um, yeah, variables there's all kinds of variables. I will have to say that if I did not really get into Herbie Hancock, um, I wouldn't be who I am today. So I
Yeah.
always thank him for that, because he was always searching, he was in electronics, funk, pop music, film scores, you know, he didn't let the parameters, uh, you know, tie him in or tie him down to anything.
Well, there you go. There's a mentor right there. And it's understandable why, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Gary's complimenting you. He said he loves listening to you play. You're always fresh.
Ah, very meek also. I haven't seen him in
Yeah,
a long time.
I know. I spoke with him a few weeks back, but that was really fun. He said he also enjoyed working with you on a record with Dwight Tribble, who, and it may not have seen the light of day, that record.
Right. Oh, that's right. Was it standards? Was it all standards? I think so. Roy McCurdy and Trevor. Um, yeah, I'm not sure if that came out either. It was produced by um, Stuart Levine and who's the mixing? Bernie Grubman.
Oh,
And we actually recorded
oh,
it. It's a beautiful record. I don't know what happened,
huh.
but we recorded it all in the living room or the lounge of Bernie Grubman's studio, all direct to
Wow. How interesting.
yeah, direct to disc actually.
Huh.
Um, yeah, quite beautiful. All standards and Dwight with his rich baritone, and Gary, we were all in the same room. That was a nice record. You're right.
You've worked a lot with Dwight. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a duet record out actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Was that when did that come out? I don't know if I've ever heard that.
Maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Ah,
It's
wow.
on it's on Spotify. Duality, it's called.
Oh, we'll have to listen a little bit to that because I'd really like to hear that. I mean, I'm a big fan also of Dwight's and as a person and an artist and a singer, a musician. He's a pretty amazing guy.
Yeah, he's really got the world stage up and running on another level now. It's great.
I know.
Yeah.
He's cool, man. He was on the show too. That was really a fun one, a fun I mean, they were all fun. Actually, I like talking to you all of you. You know, I haven't had one that I've gone, oh God, I wish I hadn't had the person on. because everybody has their own beautiful essence, and every because we're all human, we all basically do the same actions, and we all have fires, and we all walk through the fires and come out on the other side, and
Mhm.
have some really cool things, observations to share.
Right, right.
Um,
Well, thanks for giving the platform. I mean, you're here, what, 6 days a week? That's amazing.
yeah, it's just so much fun. It's so great.
You're like the
But
CBS Evening News.
yeah, man, I'm the CSG Evening News.
There you go. I like that better.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thanks, Gary. Um, so let's see. Yeah. Um, Before I go hear something, because I want to definitely play something, but before we do that, I would like to ask you a question about a fire that you went through, that you had and you went through. Now, some people don't really remember, especially on in the moment of, they don't remember, difficult moments that they went through, that they were confronted with and went through, and which is totally understandable because, in the moment, sometimes we don't remember our whole history. But is there anything that comes to mind, especially musically or relating to your art, that was a barrier for you somehow, and then you broke through?
Well, there's a few of those. I mean, I was a I was sort of a failure writing pop music when I was in my early 20s. I had I had some success, but I had it in my mind that I would write pop music to try to get a hit, um, so that I could, used to say, so that I could support my jazz habit. And that's not a good place to come from because although I love pop music, especially back then, it was wide open. And I really tried hard at it, and I had a little success. Um, it came from the wrong place, it wasn't genuine. And after a while, I basically stopped, you know. Um, but that experience, learning form, and for me, I think the thing was is that I hear complex. I'm complex. I hear deep in my soul. I hear harmonic stuff that doesn't lend itself to pop music. But what I learned is over the years is how to how to uh, how to tame myself, I guess, for certain things. Um, but but I think the lesson was that it wasn't really genuine for me, you know. Um, Same with I had some success being a jingle writer, but my stuff was always a little too on the edge, um, and dealing with the rejection after rejection after rejection. I mean, it would. I couldn't understand why for sometimes, but I think deep down inside I really knew why, you know. And then at some point in my career, I realized that I should run my own race and just be who I am and see what happens, And ultimately, that's sort of, if you want to say, I don't like to use the word success, but all of a sudden the work started coming in for me to be me, or a way to, yeah, I guess just to be me, right?
Yeah.
And or else me fitting into other situations, like-minded situations. You know, yeah, I don't have this huge house in Beverly Hills. Yeah, I'm not like writing every movie score there was like Quincy Jones and Dave Grusin, but I've kind of found my own niche,
Yeah.
and it it kind of came through just being honest, and I think the public can smell a rat, you
Mhm.
know. Ultimately, I mean, not maybe right now at first, but in the long haul. So yeah, rejection, has a way of, hopefully has a way of, you learn from falling and failing.
Yeah.
So that would be one amongst a few.
That's deep. That covers a bunch of them too. Yeah. Nothing like failing to make you a little humble.
Yeah.
Right? It's
And I
like,
probably, I'm sure I had a huge ego when I was a kid because I had a lot of success early on, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and didn't know how to really. At one point, when I was in 23, 24 years old, I was writing for network television shows.
Wow.
And by accident, I got the gig, but I got the gig, and it led to a lot of other things, but they were all sitcoms. And um, after a while, I got to the point, well, I don't want to do sitcoms. I want to do dramas. I want to do serious films and stuff. So I actually just flat out quit writing sitcoms, and it never came back. Hollywood,
Yeah, fickle.
Hollywood is fickle. Yeah, I mean, I ended up writing jingles, and that was cool, and I ended up going another way. But I've yet to really score my own movie, and that's been a dream since I was 13, 14 years old.
Oh, I'd like to hear your score, your movie score. Yeah, I would like that. I think you'd be great for that.
Well, I've worked on a lot of movies,
Yeah.
and I work for a composer that lets me be me.
Yeah.
That's why, yeah, and I've probably done 35 films with this guy, with Thomas Newman. But he's a different kind of cat. He's a very open, creative musician. He's how do you call it when you work together? He's
Collaborator.
collaborative. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now, what about that is not composing for movies or composing for movies? Is that, I mean, would you, because you said you wanted to score a movie, but that's not scoring the movie, what you're doing for him?
Well, he's the composer.
Yeah.
I'm, working on the team, which I'm
Oh, I see.
love doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So collaborating.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but he's the composer.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Well, I see it in your future.
I actually did one this January, and featuring Monkestra,
Oh,
a jazz score. They had temped it with like John Barry big band music from the '60s. John Barry was the composer that wrote all the James Bond stuff and
mm,
other stuff. Brilliant movie composer. And so it was sort of this, you know, '60s big band,
oh,
Quincy-ish uh, score. And it's a Steven Soderbergh film. And Tom, asked me to do this with him. It was awesome. The problem was that not the problem. It stars Meryl Streep, Candice Bergen, and Diane Feast, I think, or First Feast, somebody like that. And the problem was that it takes place on the Queen Mary 2. And we recorded the score in January, thinking that it was going to come out in March. But if you remember the beginning of COVID, all the cases on the cruise ships. So I think the movie's been shelved for a while.
oh, my, that is such a weird COVID story.
Isn't that? And here's my chance to be a
Jeez.
film composer, and plus with my big band, it was
Oh my
too good
God.
to be true. But you move on.
You do. I've had several things like that. I can never remember this guy's name. He was he was a well-known jazz, straight ahead bebop piano player, and I was when I first came here, I was a waitress at Dante's, so I met all the musicians while I was there and stuff.
Yeah.
And this guy, this piano player, a very slender black man, he ended up dying, and he was probably in his I'm sure he wasn't older than 40s something. Anyway, I was going to be the female singer for his group. He and there was a guy, and we were going to sing with him,
Hmm.
and then he died. I was like,
Art Hillary?
no, no, nope. He was piano. Let's see. He was young. He was very slender, on the younger side. I'm going to have to really go and look for his name. I mean, when people say it, I remember. But anyway, oh, Sonny Wilkinson is here, and she says hi.
Hey, Sonny.
Oh, and yeah, Tanya Grubbs, who's a singer on the East Coast, she said it's going to happen. She can feel it for you.
Okay. Well, it
See?
already happened. It's just whether people hear it or not.
Right. Well, what should we listen to? Should we listen to Monkestra or
I can play you some some unheard new Monkeystra stuff, or I just produced this record for a really great singer named Maria Mendez, who's who's Portuguese living in Holland, and it's sort of reimagined fado.
yeah,
But maybe I could, I don't know, if I share my screen, can I
yeah,
play you music?
yep, you
Is that
can.
how it works?
And
How much time do we have? Okay.
oh, plenty of time, an hour. But you can also, when you share the screen, there's that little box on the
Yeah.
bottom left, share computer sound. You probably are
Yeah.
doing that.
Okay. Actually, I have to um, get it rolling first. Just give me one
Yeah,
second.
sure. Meanwhile, I'll just tell people that tomorrow is my day off, and then Friday is Robert Kyle, great saxophone player, really great, nice guy.
Yeah.
And Saturday, do you remember Eve Evans, John?
I remember the name. Yeah.
Yeah, Eve Evans was a straight ahead pianist singer, and she'd been around for a long time, really basically tells it like it is. She's going to be on Saturday. Sunday is a singer and educator and curator from New York, Alexis Cole. So I have a bunch of people scheduled, and it's going to be super fun. Okay,
I have a monk tune that's going to be on the new record I could play you.
sure.
This is Monk's Mood, and features Gregoire Morin on harmonica, um, Benjamin J. Shepard on the bass, and Terrion Gully on the drums. It's only about 3.5 minutes, but so I thought maybe it'd be kind of good
Oh,
fun.
yeah, sure.
This is from the new Monkestra record called Monkestra Plays John Beasely. Be out late August.
my God. Wow, that is fabulous. Oh my God, that's so good. It's like I know how much I like it when I want to hear more.
Thank you.
That's really a beautiful job. Ba, 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 ba. That last thing. Um, okay, so here's what I want to ask. I want to ask you, um, I want to ask you some musical questions, and some of it is just because I'm curious, but also I think people would like to know this kind of information. So, oh, Atmaro is here.
Yeah, Mom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so complimentary. John commands the harmonic knowledge that so many barely process from the masters before us, makes its own, make it its own, and propels it into the future.
Wow, man, you're so poetic. I mean, can I steal that from you?
I think you should use that as a quote, man.
No, he's always
That's
been he's been
beautiful.
so kind, and he's a very great musician, creative
Great.
thinker.
Yeah, he's a wonderful musician and a great person. Um, wow. So regarding questions and stuff. Okay, so that was absolutely stunning. So obviously the arranger, John Beasely, has an idea of what he wants, and then and also taking into consideration who's playing, right? You know the players,
Yeah.
and um, and then you set the arrangement in front of everybody, and then everybody does their own voice and abilities come out, and it ends up making it what it is. But one thing that really strikes me is is the time. Like I'm always telling my students, I'm always giving them ideas like I'll give them an elastic band, and I'll take an elastic band, I'll put one end of the elastic band around a pencil, and then the student holds the other end and I hold the other end. And then I say, do anything you want with your end, and then here's the pencil, and this is
Oh,
the
good.
time.
Yeah.
And so everybody can do whatever they want as long as the other end of their elastic is connected to the time and the song going through by. So
Right.
I know that's happening, but it's really, it gives this expansive feeling and a space, I mean, space, I think, is a big thing of what we're creating. Wouldn't you agree? A space, a certain space, magical, musical space, even if it's, even if it connects to God or whatever, however you want to put that. But the space on that song was huge, and everybody was doing their own thing, but they were all connected, but you barely heard a time, right? So um, right. There was no, was there a time for that
Yeah.
song? Yeah.
It was time all through the song's A, so all the A sections were in time. The B section was out of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also Ben, the way,
Boom, ding.
right. Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
And you all were playing so very different from each other. And oh, you were playing, wow, that was amazing.
I was hogging up all the space, man. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted somebody to hold down the melody
Yeah.
so that I could blow around it.
Yeah, that was a great effect. Oh my God. That was really awesome. Also, Ben playing the bass, I mean, he was not playing your typical, do 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 do, He was really
Well, he's
very,
playing big,
yeah,
long notes, so that there was space to play the short notes.
yeah, yeah,
Playing big and lopey like a ballad.
right.
Boo, doo, bee, doo, boo,
Yeah,
bing. Basically playing the melody, off the melody.
yeah,
So it creates enough space for me and Terry on to sort of
yeah.
fill up those gaps.
And what was the lead instrument? Was it a harmonica
Come
or
on. Yeah.
and who was playing that?
Gregoire Murray.
Beautiful.
Yeah, he's a beautiful musician.
Can't wait till this record comes out. Or I can pre-order, right?
You could pre-order, yeah. I think on most either through Mac Avenue, their site, or any streaming service.
Yeah.
Amazon maybe. Yeah.
Okay, now actually I would like to show people you playing and I'd like to show the band because it's a really exciting band to watch. Can we I'm gonna go on YouTube and see and then you can show me what you would like me to pick. Let's see, John Beasley, there you are. Um, Now I could go to your page or I could just slide down here. Well,
Well, Round Midnight is good to watch if you like that song.
okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, sure. Evidence, whatever.
Let us show you how we run a successful
Oh,
business
yeah?
using stock footage.
Let us show you. Skip ads. Thank you. And then bring the sound back up. There's Ben Shepherd. Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Everybody looks so young, and it was only about 4 years ago.
It's the lighting at the Blue Whale. So I just see, ladies and gentlemen, you always say, Kathy, you are always going out to hear people. Like, why, how do you go out so much? How? Because when I go see somebody like this, how can I not go out and sit in the front row and be absorbed into this incredible music? How can I not do that? We're so lucky to have you and Josh Nelson and Otmaro and John DeVersa, you know, create these amazing, amazing things. That was absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're lucky to be in a city that still has, well, up until a few months ago, had a lot of opportunity to play, and especially for young musicians, I love playing with some of these young guys in town now.
God,
Great.
yeah. And
Yeah.
the Blue Whale, of course, is just such a prime spot to play. It's just such a great environment. Um, yeah, that June created. By the way, Kevin Littau is on. Hi, Kev.
Kevin?
She said it sounds amazing.
All right.
Um, wow. So your use of tension is really beautiful. I hope I'm not complimenting you too much.
Um, Thank you.
I keep going, oh my God. Oh wow. But
I used to, early on, it would be like, I'd be like this after a set, oh my God, people say, oh, that was great. And I'm like, really? It's like an asshole thing to do. But lately I've learned just to say thank you and speed the conversation along.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that I mean, it's nice to know that people love what you're doing. It's nice. It's really it's
Yeah.
everybody wants to be acknowledged, no matter who you are. But yeah, I mean, I get very excited about this because um, it's obvious it's obvious through the music that there's things that turn me on, and I know they turn other people on even if they're not fully aware of what exactly is being turned on in them, but I know what's turned on in me. It has to do with this may sound kind of crazy, but it has to do with things like ethics and commitment and focus and responsibility. See, those things turn me on, and they've turned me on over the years, and and I think they're super valuable to people, and that's part of why I continue being an artist, because even if somebody's not fully aware of this particular thing that's being related, or stimulated, I should say, or re-stimulated, um,
Right.
it's it's a gift. It's really a gift, and it's our job. And this is my feelings. It's our job as artists to go inside and be as truthful as we can and create something with all those things, with focus and ethics and commitment, and then that's what comes across. I mean, to me, that's just super mind-blowing and exciting.
I think it's super important in this day and age. Well, these problems that we're cultural problems we're having now are nothing new.
Right.
But for our generation right now, I believe it's super important to illuminate, number one, where this music comes from. This is African American music. That's where this music started, and it's evolved, of course. But because there's a real disconnect sometimes I find between somebody that idolizes John Coltrane or Charlie Parker or Marvin Gaye, a white person, take it, say, uh, and still be able to be sort of racist. Maybe they don't even know they're being racist. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the dialogue we're having right now is important. But I think for me, I want to illuminate um, that disconnect and illuminate the 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 inequality. You know, and yeah, I've been really trying to write like there's a tune called "Come Sunday" that Duke Ellington wrote a long
Great
time ago
song. Yeah.
about worshiping, and so on this new record, I have this version of it that 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 I wrote the arrangement after I just reread "To Kill a Mockingbird,"
Oh,
which is the story of somebody falsely accused, a black person falsely accused of, you know, of a murder of a white woman in the South.
yeah, yeah,
And the whole courtyard, the courtroom scenes, and the um, the the church scenes, every Sunday. And it struck me that these people that were oppressed all week long, go to church and worship and let it loose, and feel joy, and then also sort of get strong again for the next week's inequality, if you will, right? Struggles. So I wrote this arrangement. Sort of has this film noir type sound to it. And then I wanted to expose how, Duke Ellington wrote this as a gospel piece, and I think he was a very famous gospel singer back in the 30s and 40s.
Mahalia Jackson, or
Yeah, she recorded it. A bunch of people recorded it,
yeah,
and then how Coltrane kind of rediscovered his spirituality,
yeah,
um, and did the Holy Ghost and sort of free form, and discovered, and that's something you do in gospel churches. You play out of time before the
yeah,
hymn.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Go through this whole structure, and so I think that's really important. I've just we're in the process of releasing a version of Strange Fruit with Diane Reeves.
Oh, ooh,
So
ooh, I just got
that's
chills.
uh, with a video of all the recent slain African American people, with their names on it and all that. It's super heavy, so we're trying to get that out. Um, and I just encourage all my musician brothers and sisters out there to really think about, the people maybe that you've been influenced by, and illuminate that fact, and kind of help the cause, right?
Yeah, that's very cool. Well, you and I released our singles on the same day, and I did Marvin Gaye's
That's right.
Inner City Blues, Make Me Want to Holler. And I
Right.
created, in iMovie, I created a movie with a lot of pictures from, you know, I mean, it was apropos then when it came out, and all the way up to now, especially now. But yeah, it's like in this particular song included in the pictures, I was feeling, and I wanted everybody else to feel. I felt a lot of different emotions. Um, I felt pissed off. I felt upset, sad, horrified. I felt hope. I felt love. I felt all of that stuff in this song, and I tried to show that in the pictures too. And that is what we're going through now. We're, in so many different ways. We have all of that stuff going on. It's too important a time to not take advantage, to look inside ourselves and to think about it and change stuff. And it's
Yeah.
just too important.
What can we do? You know, I think what would really help our country is a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, like they did in South.
Yeah,
Illuminate, the truth, and we'll deal with it.
yeah, yeah,
Americans are amazing people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so wow, well, that sounds really great. And Mon David says you've been illuminating it quite successfully through your art and music, John, and that's why you've been thriving and you continue to inspire. Uh, he's a silent fan from a distance since your phase with Dwight. You know Mon, don't you?
I do. Yeah.
He's a
Hello.
wonderful person. Thank you, Toby. Um, so Yeah, and you mentioned a singer that you're producing, or you
I
produced.
produced this record for Maria Mendez, who's a great singer and well, she's Portuguese. She lives in Holland now.
Hmm.
And this record came out a few months ago. Let me see if I can find it. Um,
I might have to play John Beasley with Cathy Segal-Garcia too, just one
okay,
song.
awesome. Um, let's see. What's interesting about this project is that it's a Fado reimagined record. She's a jazz singer, but because she's from Portugal, she grew up with Fado music, and so we reimagined Fado, and she used her band, and I played a little bit, and I wrote all these arrangements for with the Metropole Orchestra to overdub her.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
So,
think
well, we'll hear it.
yeah, and if you want to hear it, I can play it.
It would be nice to hear a song.
Yeah, you guys are a singers community. We got a
Her name is Maria.
Maria Mendez. Let's see. Yeah, just make sure you can hear it. Yeah, she's on a Canadian label. I can't remember. You can find it here, but I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah,
This is the record.
yep.
Yeah, close to me. I think some of your singer audience might like this.
Yeah.
Should I go ahead and play it, or
Yeah, go ahead.
okay? This is a very popular fado, probably written 100 years ago.
Hmm.
Asa Fechados.
Asas fechadas são cansaço ou queda, pedra lançada ou voo que repousa. Ai, meu sorriso a mim entrega e meu olhar não ousa. Asas fechadas dizem dois sentidos, ambos sabe sonhar.
That was gorgeous.
São
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that.
That was really beautiful. Yeah, she's a beautiful singer, and your arrangements. Wow, that was stunning.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, that song makes me cry. In any kind of version, that song is just tears
beautiful.
me.
Yeah, really, really beautiful. Wow. I'm gonna add that to my Spotify. Um, I saw on your song playlist, Johnny Mandel.
Yes.
You a big Johnny Mandel fan?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's another guy that just makes me weep.
Yeah, yeah, I
Uh,
know. Um, yeah, actually, I'll just say this on this platform, but so I'm an advisory board member for the California Jazz Foundation, you
right.
know, which
Yeah.
is the foundation here that strictly dedicates itself to providing money for jazz musicians in California. And so they were going to have their big annual fundraiser honoring Johnny Mandel and Billy Mitchell in May or March. Was it March? Anyway, one of those months. And so they couldn't. And then Johnny passed away. And and so they're going to do an online fundraiser in September, and it would be great. They're collecting videos of people speaking about Johnny, and it would be great if you actually made a little video. It doesn't have to be a big fancy schmancy thing.
Yeah.
A few minutes long, and whatever you want to say, and also mentioning California Jazz Foundation.
Um, Clayton Cameron actually reached out to me a couple
Oh,
weeks
good.
ago to do something. And I
Oh,
guess
great.
at first they wanted me to play some song, but
Yeah.
then now it's more testimonials. So yeah, I was planning on doing that. And actually, I have a Billy Mitchell story to
Oh,
tell as well.
oh,
He's been a sort of a figure in my early life, probably around the same time well, actually before I met you.
yeah.
Uh, I was like 18 and couldn't get into most bars or whatever. And he used to have this band with John Bolivar's uh, brother. Do you remember him? Chuck
I do.
Bolivar? Was his name?
No, I don't think
He
his
played
name
alto.
is Chuck. Yeah, they're both in Palm Springs now. John
I
and
mean, this guy was
yeah.
bad. Anyway, this band was crazy great, super funky and jazzy, and so it was John's younger brother playing alto,
Yeah.
Billy, Roger Barthélemy. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
him. He was
yeah.
a
I
drummer from
do.
Jamaica that was killing. He's
Yeah.
passed away since.
Mm.
And Reggie Regis or something like that. Great
Uh-huh.
bass player. Anyway, me and my buddies used to go there and just like go So so Billy would always say, "Who are these young dudes?" Here. He'd come up to us, and then later he became a correctional officer at Juvie Hall
Huh.
downtown.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
Yeah, and so he would call me and other people to come in and play at Juvie Hall, at lunchtime for these lunchtime concerts. And super positive dude every time I saw him. He's always sort of supporting the scene, nice piano player.
And
Uh,
here, and he created a lot of youth and jazz-oriented organizations that
Yeah.
supported youth in jazz.
Yeah, particularly, I don't know, do you call it at-risk youth or,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he's a deep dude. And of course, Johnny Mandel is pouring out his heart every note in a score, you know.
He's
So
such a
yeah, I
beautiful
plan on
guy.
doing it. And actually, Moncaster, we played either the year before last at the benefit or last
Oh,
year.
oh,
Um, they honored Ndugu and Patrice. Was that
yeah. That was
last?
last year, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm way into them.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think it would be great if you made a testimonial and played a little
Yeah.
a
Okay.
little Johnny Mandel in the background a little bit.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah,
cool.
they're
That's
great.
great.
I encourage everybody to support that group because there's a lot of musicians that well, a lot of people in general can't afford health insurance, and when they get sick, they
Oh
step in.
yeah. I've known several people, several dear people. Actually, Stephanie Haynes was one of the people on their site who spoke
Mhm.
about her receiving money and, you know,
Yeah. Ralph Penland.
yeah, Ralph Penland. Yeah. Very wonderful organization, and they've been doing it for a long time. Oh, Cecily Gardner would like to know the link to Maria's. It's on Spotify.
Can I
Is it?
share the link?
Yeah,
Do
can
that
you?
here?
That would be great.
See. Share.
That would be great.
Copy album link. And then where do I put it on Zoom?
You could put it in the chat,
In the
and
chat.
then I can take it and
Oh,
put it
file.
into
Is it a
Facebook.
file or no?
Um,
Okay. There you go.
there it is. Thank you. Okay, and I'm copying, and I am I'm copying and then I'm pasting. Hi, Ingrid James. Ingrid James is kind of like a Cathy Segal-Garcia in Australia.
Oh, wow. What time is it there? 1:30 in the morning?
Yeah, that was quite beautiful. And that was with the Metropole, which is just gorgeous. I always talk about Tim Weston's. I mean, there's been so many beautiful projects from the Metropole Orchestra, but Tim Weston's project with, no, sorry, wait, yeah, did he do that with the Metropole? No, I'm sorry. So I'm confused. I'm mixing stories. Nancy King, he did a project. I don't know if you ever, I always talk about this project. He did a project, I think it was actually for Japan, a tribute to Rodgers and Hammerstein. And he had different arrangers on each song and different artists. He had like a Nan Schwartz version of This Nearly Was Mine with Mark Murphy.
Wow.
And then there was a Van Dyke Parks arrangement
Yeah.
of a kind of an unknown song called Everybody's Got a Home But Me. And Nancy King ended up singing it.
Nancy
And it,
King.
oh man, it was great. And but then Nancy King also did this amazing Metropole project that was so stupendous and gorgeous. And they're hard to find, right? The Metropole projects, right? They don't just kind of come
No.
out and sell them.
I think they start out as videos, a lot of them,
Oh,
concert.
really? Okay, Tim, I got my story. I got my story straight. Sorry. It just goes to show you you're in my mind all the time. Oh, okay. Cecily says, sorry, which track is it? Which track was that?
Asas Frechadas.
Okay, just you can spell it A-S-A-S.
The only one that starts with the ASAS. That's the first word.
A-S-A-S. Okay. It starts with that. Okay. Okay, got it. So, what are you doing nowadays?
I should be in Italy right now playing concerts.
You should be,
Uh,
but you ain't.
I'm not. Well, this summer, I was supposed to be with John Patitucci and Vinny and El Negro Hernandez playing stuff this week, this month, And then at the end of the month, I was supposed to record this Charlie Parker orchestral project I have with the SRW band in Stuttgart.
Oh.
In Germany they have these radio orchestras and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, the
One
great
of them.
radio orchestras.
And it's with a partner of mine named Magnus Lindgren, another arranger, great saxophone player from
From
Sweden.
over there?
From Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
And then so we've been doing this really interesting thing where we are collaborating on arrangements, and I've done that with songwriting, but not really. We pass scores back and forth. Oh, let's try this here. Let's try this here. And so we mash up our ideas together, and it's been
Huh.
really fun.
Wow.
And of course, Charlie Parker turns 100. I think the
Oh,
27th or 26th of August. So we were supposed to play the bowl, with this project, in August,
darn.
and then some dates in Europe. And so, the rehearsals and the recording, everything got pushed back. So interesting enough, Sunday and Monday morning, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we did like a rehearsal with the orchestra
Ah,
online using I think it's software called Source Connect that works with Google Chrome. So I
oh,
was able to run it through my interface and my speakers here at home and hear and see them rehearse, and I could push the space bar and talk and say, oh, let's take it from this section, or this section is supposed to be more like this, or rehearse the orchestra.
yeah,
So that was really interesting.
yeah.
So the plan now is to record in late October, if I can get there, and if they're able to get together there as well. So I'm doing that. I am writing arrangements for an arrangement for a singer named Porter Carroll. Something John Patitucci's doing. The first part of the lockdown, I had deadlines, and sort of commissions. So I was okay until about 3 weeks ago, and now
Oh,
I said, well, I could take a little time off here. But then, my record is coming out, so usually you don't, as an artist, you don't really have time to like really concentrating on promoting a record in a way, because you're on the road, or
yeah,
you're trying to make a living at the same time, right?
yeah.
So it's interesting. I'm going to do this. The record comes out at the end of August, but I'm going to go on Sirius XM and do a show 3 hours a week on Thursdays.
Get out of here.
It's going to be called Bird and the Bees.
What, I'm sorry, did you say with somebody? Because you cut out a little.
It's going to be on Sirius XM,
Yeah,
and it's Thursdays.
yeah.
I think I have it written down anyway. Thursdays, and
You're going to send that out, I'm sure, right? On your
yeah. I'll
your
post it
email.
up.
That is so great. Oh my God.
Fun. I
I'm
really
dying
like
for
doing
some
radio.
great stuff. Yeah.
I've been a guest artist and a guest DJ for a couple of years now, and I really love doing that. So I'm going to be doing that, and then I'm going to do a stream from right here in my house. My piano's right over here. Thursdays, I think at 8:30 Pacific time, for an hour or so, and I'll play a little bit and talk and play tracks.
When is that going to start?
Variety start. That'll start probably in August, like
Okay.
week from Thursday or something like that.
Okay,
So
so
I've been
for
doing
those
what
of
you're
you,
doing. I've been trying to learn OBS and trying to get all my mics so they sound good in there, and the cameras, and it's quite a thing, and learning how to sort of spit it out to YouTube, Instagram, and all the different things. So it's taken me a while to kind of get it together.
yeah, there's things I know, but then there's things I don't know. But Todd Hunter has given me good information, and I know Tamir has good information about his piano shows. And Josh, I'm not sure about Josh Nelson if what his tech skills are, but he's been doing it also. So
Okay.
there are a few people you can speak with too, if you need any kind of
Yeah, I would
But
love that. I've been, we were trying to figure out if we can get a trio in here.
Hmm.
And we had it all set up to do a couple weeks ago, but then we started spiking here, and
Yeah,
doesn't seem like we could really be 6 feet apart in here,
yeah, yeah.
So maybe duos,
Uh-huh, right, right.
Yeah.
Um, um, so several years back, I was fortunate enough also to be in Japan when John was I guess you were the music director of the Jazz Day,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
right?
I'm musical director for International Jazz Day. Yeah, you in that's right, we ran into
You
each other.
invited me there, yeah, and I was sitting next to your friends who I can't remember their names, but they were, yeah. And that was so much fun, you know. Japan's like my second home, and then there's John, and there's like a great damn show, man. I mean, God, there was one African woman who was incredible in that show. This was a while ago, right? This was,
Osaka must have been 5 or 6 years ago, I would say, maybe more.
yeah, maybe more, maybe
I think this would have
7.
been the 10th year, ninth or 10th year. We were supposed to be in Cape Town, South Africa, in April this year. It's always April 30th for your
Right.
listeners. And it's celebrated around the world as like Earth Day or Women's Day through UNESCO. And
Was
so it's a great opportunity for jazz fans and jazz musicians to promote themselves and the music.
Was this was this part that you're in? Was this started by Herbie Hancock?
Yeah, Herbie was a cultural ambassador to UNESCO, and
Oh, okay.
he wanted to get a jazz day like Earth Day, and
I see.
so he got it through the legislator, and then he put a production team together to these international concerts with musicians from all over the world. So you can go to jazzday.org or .com. I think it's either both,
Yeah.
and you can see all the concerts. You can stream them, and probably even YouTube as well.
And let me tell the audience how it looks from the audience point of view. So here, so you have each song literally a whole different band. Oh, and Schofield was on that gig too, because he kept sitting in with all these bands, which was extremely generous and fun of him, right? It was just great to
Well,
see him.
everybody does this. It's like we have maybe a cast of about 30 musicians,
Yeah.
and they all play together. And as musical director, what I love about doing this is maybe putting combinations of musicians that don't normally play together. You
Yeah.
know, like John played with forgetting the woman's name, the African
Oh,
woman's name. You not Yusum. I can't remember
she
anyway.
was great.
She's great from
Yeah.
West Africa, and we had for that show Kenny
Didn't you?
Garrett
Huh?
was on the show, and Kenny. I've known Kenny since we were miles together back 30 years ago,
And there was
and he
that
was
group.
studying Japanese at that time. So Kenny introduced a few acts in Japanese.
There was
Um,
that group that's kind of slightly commercial with the woman singer, and it's kind of a popish
oh, it
group.
was Layla Hathaway,
It
right?
wasn't Layla though; it was somebody else. She was Spanish, I think, or a Latin American or something.
Sheila E.
Huh? No,
Sheila
no,
E.
no, no. This was a singer, and the group. It was a group. Oh, anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
but go ahead. Yeah, so Sheila E. was there because when I came to get my tickets, I saw Sheila and her dad in the hotel
Yeah.
lobby.
They're fun. I mean, and you would think with all these pretty much big jazz stars, that they would sort of, be, I don't want to do that, or, whatever. But everybody checks their ego at the door. It's like a big party. It's
Yeah,
really a lot of fun. And I think because Herbie is the head of this thing and he's showing up for rehearsals and, at the crack of dawn and all this stuff,
yeah,
and he's really putting a lot of effort to it. So, when your leader is that gracious, I think it helps with all that. And they're all cool people. And of course, at the hotel bar, it's insane, a lot of fun.
yeah. Um, let's see. I was going to. I'm sorry. I just have to do this because I have to look for for the Kathy and John song. Now let me see if I am actually, do I have intuition on, no, I don't have it on Spotify. See if I have it on YouTube. You never know. Cathy Segal-Garcia, intuition, yeah. I don't know, man. I might have to just play it. I don't even know if I can play it from the iTunes, if it'll sound good or not. um, hmm. And did we play? We played. It wasn't Round Midnight. It was Ruby, right?
Oh, that's right. We did a monk tune. Forgot that.
Let's see. Ruby, my dear. Here we go. It's on actually. Let's see. And sorry, let me get my shit together here.
See that on TV?
Luckily, it's not TV, so hey. Let's see. Skip ad.
Look at that apple. It's a terrible looking apple.
I know. Oh, skip ad. Here we go. This was my record Intuition, where I played with 10 different piano players on this record because I love the form of duo. And I asked John to be one of them. Ruby, my dear, hold back that tear. I know he's gone. Your love has flown. You're all alone. Oh, I know you cry. There is no reply. Pain lingers on. It doesn't go, 'cause you say so. One day he came to you, and he made the music play in his way. And you said you'd rather die than say goodbye. But there'll come a day, though You sing his song. You'll carry on, Ruby, my Ruby, one day he came to you and he made the music play in his way. You said that you would rather die than say goodbye. But there will come a day, though he's away, you'll sing his song, you will carry on, Ruby, my dear, Ruby, my dear, Ruby, my dear. Yeah, John.
That was so much fun. You were so conversational. The way you deliver these words, it's great.
That was
In
fun.
a play or movie scene.
Well, that was just, yeah, that's why, I mean, I love playing with you and I love duos because it's such an intimate experience
Yeah.
and you can really, uh, I can sing tension notes and it's fine, It's like, yeah, I want to sing that note. And it's a beautiful thing and yeah, it's just beautiful and you're just so poetic in your playing.
Yeah, I love how you delivered that, and the lyrics are great, and it's like you're talking to your younger sister or your niece or something,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really beautiful song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also on that record I did Ruby. Um, the other, let's see.
Ruby, Ruby, Ruby.
No, but that was one of my played records forever. Oh my God. First time I heard that, I flipped out over the groove on that song.
The Donald
Um,
Fagen version or the original version?
the Donald Fagen version.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
What a
was
great
the
record that
best
is.
friggin' groove. Now the Ruby was, gosh, let me just remember what that is because that's going to drive me a little crazy. Let's see, Ruby.
My name is
That
Scott
was
Harrison.
Ruby. Let's see.
Just listen. This is my wife,
Whoops.
my son.
Scott Harrison. Yeah, close that player. And then Ruby, this was with Jane. Oh, yeah. You know this, Ruby? My dear, you are like a dream. You know that song? Not always what you see. That's a very beautiful Ruby song too. Yeah.
It's a nice word to sing, right? Ruby's got a,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ruby, Ruby, doody doody, doody doody dee, it's a really haunting song. I forget the composer on that. Yeah. Well, back to you. Enough about me. What do you think? I had a little comic for a while, Linus and Lucy, you know, and Linus was saying, you always talk about yourself. It's me this, me that, me. And then the last little square, she says, me? Uh, yeah, so we're winding up here. And gee, I want to thank you for spending 2 hours because it's, you know, it's a chunk of time. And I know you're not going anywhere, but
Well, it's
still,
always good to talk about me, you know.
exactly.
I,
Uh,
I had a good time reminiscing and talking about a lot of different things. It's great. You're really good at this.
yeah, thank you. John and I also, we were talking about, yeah, did we talk about that on online or before about the comeback in? We talked about it online, right? When you played with Diane Reeves and Joey Heredia, who was my brother-in-law. And yeah, that was a really great group. Why did I bring that up? I guess just, you know, it's great to catch up with you and hear about all the stuff you're doing. And it's not, of course, it's not all the stuff because there's so much, but we're sitting here in the moment communicating and, you know, whatever comes up, comes up. That's why I don't plan out conversations because
Hmm.
I don't know what's interesting that's going to come up, you know?
Yeah, this is more of a free forum. It's great. And it's great to have comments from your guests.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there anything that you, I mean, okay, so we know that there is a single and it's called Stevo
Steve,
and it's on Spotify. And this is a new single that John just released and it's a precursor to his record called Monkestra Does John Beasley.
Lancashire plays John Beasley.
Okay. And which I am personally going to go pre-order because it sounds fabulous. And the only question I'll have is, should I get a CD or should I just get a download? You know, it's hard to keep track of downloads for me. I do download, but CDs I'm much better with because I'll put the CD on my 6 CD player in the kitchen and I'll
Mhm.
leave it there for a few weeks, you know,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so I kind of like that better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to have a CD because it's tangible. You can read about it. You know.
Yeah,
It kind of makes me want to sit on the couch again, like with records. You know.
yeah.
You know. Have you been buying any vinyl at all?
I have not bought vinyl, but you know, my husband collects vinyl, or he has
Oh,
over years, and so we must have 20,000 vinyl here, and also 45s, like 5,000 45s.
wow,
But
cool.
they're older, and they're mostly his collection is mostly rhythm and blues, and some rock, and then I have my much smaller collection of jazz stuff. But
I
I
still
haven't.
have a lot of my old records, and I've hooked up my turntable. I bought some new records too. I really like that because, it's like something about the break of flipping it over is great. They're not like, hour records, you know. So you can kind of get to really know it. And if you like one side, you just keep it on the side that you like, and you really get to know a record because you don't want to, sometimes you don't want to like, oh, now I've got to get up and put it back in the thing and, all that. You just leave it on the turntable, which is great, you know?
Yeah, you know what I found? So what I've been doing is I have my music room has our TV in it. So usually in the morning I'll get up and I'll get on an exercise machine, and when the TV is not being played, then I will get out a record and I'll put it on. So
Yeah.
I found this record. This must have been from my husband's collection. So this is I had never heard of Tony Harper. I don't know if you had ever heard of her.
No.
So this record, really interesting story. First of all, the cover was written by Johnny Green. You know, he was writing about it, and this was um, a um, a class that Hal Levy did at UCLA, and he took all the songwriters from the class and he came up with something like 14 cuts, and Tony was one of the songwriters, and she was very young. She was like in her early 20s, because afterwards, of course, I looked her up. She retired when she was like 29 or something.
From
And
songwriting? I mean, because she became successful and made a lot of money, or?
I'm not sure why she retired, but she was relatively successful. She was like when she was 8 or something, she performed on the Ed Sullivan Show, and she traveled with somebody like a Duke Ellington, and that this recording is amazing. Her singing is so fantastic and mature. It's really great. So I was kind of saving this out actually for Tony Guerrero because he likes to collect stuff like this, you know. So I wanted to show him. But yeah, so I have been listening. I've been taking and there is something different about playing a record, you know, and the
You know what
sound.
I noticed, Kathy, is that in my house, the the um, the records,
Yeah,
the vinyl fills up the house in a completely different way than the
yeah,
CD does, or
I know.
off the computer or off my phone, through the stereo.
I
It's
agree with you.
strange. Something about the way it's compressed.
Yeah.
I can hear more detail in the next room. It's quite cool.
I totally agree with you. Well, if you believe like what John DeVersa was saying about when we create music, we send out waves, you know, and so the records send out a different wavelength, you
Yeah.
know, and it's really a beautiful thing. That's like in the beginning, I was playing, before we came on, I was playing a little bit of my mother-in-law singing for
Right.
John. And this is Joey Heredia's mom. Her name was Adelina Garcia, and she was very famous when she was like 14 years old, and then she had a career. And she was a bolero singer. And I recently got from UC Santa Barbara, I got into her files, and they had a whole bunch of her audio. And wow, listening to her beautiful sound, and especially since she was my mother-in-law and I was very close with her. But
Yeah.
it was the quality of sound was, it really brought you right back there, and it was real beautiful to hear that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So,
All right. Well, it's certainly nice visiting with you again, and we got to make music again one of these days, too.
absolutely. I'm gonna call you up again and do that. Thanks, John, and have a really great day. And everybody, my day off is tomorrow, but Friday is Robert Kyle. So come on back. Robert Kyle is a great saxophone player and um, wonderful person.
No doubt.
Okay, John, have
All
a
right,
good
Kathy.
one. Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Bye bye.
Everybody stay safe and wear your mask.
That's right.
Okay? Uncle John.